the drop-off. At the edge of the Great Barrier Reef in Australia, a brood of clownfish was getting ready to hatch. Marlin and Coral, the mother and father, proudly watched over their eggs in the grotto. "We still have to name them," Coral said. "I like Nemo." Suddenly, a barracuda appeared. Marlin rushed to protect Coral, but the barracuda's tail knocked him out cold. Marlin woke to an eerie silence. When he swam to the grotto, he found only one tiny egg, injured but still okay. There, it's okay. Dad's here," Marlin said softly, cradling the egg in his fin. "I promise I'll never let anything happen to you, Nemo," he whispered to the egg. From that day on, Marlin was very protective of his son, especially since Nemo was born with a lucky fin. It was smaller than his other fin and made him an awkward swimmer. When it was time for Nemo to start school, Marlin didn't want to let his son go. But Nemo couldn't wait. "Dad, how old are sea turtles?" Nemo asked on the way to school. "Well, if I ever meet a sea turtle, I'll ask him," Marlin said. At school, Nemo climbed on the back of the teacher, Mr. Ray. To his horror, Marlin learned that Mr. Ray was taking the class on a trip to the drop-off, the cliff where Coral and the eggs had been attacked. "Come on, Nemo!" Nemo's new friends sneaked away from the rest of the class. At the edge of the drop-off, they dared each other to swim up and touch a boat anchored nearby. "How far can you go, Dad?" one of Nemo's classmates said to the clownfish. Just then Marlin swam over. "Nemo, no!" he cried. "Dad, I wasn't going to go," Nemo said, starting to explain. "You think you can do these things, but you just can't," his father said angrily. "I hate you," Nemo mumbled. Mr. Ray heard the commotion and swam over to help. While Marlin was busy talking to the teacher, Nemo swam to the boat and touched it with his fin. He was tired of his dad thinking he was too little and too weak to do anything. When Marlin heard Nemo's classmates shouting, he looked out toward the boat. "Nemo!" he cried as a diver swam up right behind his son. "Swim, Nemo, swim!" the kids called. "Daddy, help me!" Nemo cried as the driver scooped him up. But before Marlin could do anything, the diver and Nemo was already on the boat. There was no way Marlin could catch up. Marlin swam to a busy underwater passage. "Has anybody seen a boat?" "They took my son," he cried. Finally, a regal blue-tongued fish named Dory told him she had seen a boat. "Follow me," she said. But Dory had a problem. She couldn't remember anything for more than a few minutes. When she turned and saw Marlin, she got angry with him. "Stop following me." "Okay," she exclaimed. Suddenly, a big shark named Bruce showed up. Bruce took Dory and Marlin to a sunken submarine. Inside was a meeting of sharks who claimed to be vegetarians. Marlin didn't trust them, but then Marlin spotted a diving mask. It was just like the one worn by the diver who had captured me. What do these markings mean? He wondered aloud. I don't read human. Suddenly, Bruce was overcome with hunger. He chased Dory and Marlin through the submarine, snapping his jaws. The pair raced into a tube that held a torpedo. Marlin and Dory lodged the torpedo in Bruce's mouth to escape. The shark spat it out, and seconds later it exploded.